All right. Welcome back, everyone. Glad to have you here for another deep dive. And today, we're tackling something absolutely crucial, especially if you're on the gold seal path, stakeholder relationships.
It's a big one, for sure. And not just about being the most popular person on the job site.
No, definitely not. Though a little bit of friendliness never hurts,
Yeah.
right? But you're hinting at something bigger here.
Oh, absolutely. Strong relationships, they're the bedrock of any successful construction project. They can be the difference between smooth sailing and constant headaches.
I hear that. Less conflict, more efficiency. Everyone wins. But let's break it down a bit. Stakeholder relationships. Sounds kind of formal, maybe even a bit intimidating.
Yeah, it can sound like something from a textbook, that's right. But it's really about people.
People, got it. But who are we talking about specifically? Like, who are the stakeholders in the construction world? And what makes those relationships so unique, so challenging?
All right, so think of anyone with skin in the game. Owners, obviously. The ones footing the bill, they've got a big stake in things. Then you've got your contractors, right? The ones actually leading the charge, making it all happen.
Yeah, the folks on the ground making the vision a reality.
Exactly. But then there's a whole layer beneath that, too. Your subcontractors, all the specialized trades, plumbers, electricians, you name it. And don't forget the consultants, the architects, the engineers, all providing critical expertise. Oh, and then there's the regulatory bodies, too, making sure everything's up to code, all that jazz.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Hmm.
And I bet they don't always see eye to eye. So how do we manage all those different perspectives, all those different priorities? The source mentioned transparent communication, but what does that even mean in such a complex environment?
Honestly, it boils down to being upfront, honest, and clear right from day one, laying it all out, what we're aiming for, what the plan is, and just as importantly, keeping everyone in the loop along the way. Changes happen, delays happen, that's construction for you. But keeping those communication lines open, making sure everyone feels heard and considered, that's how you build trust and trust. That's gold in this industry.
I can see that. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But let's be real, construction's not exactly known for always going smoothly,
Yeah.
right? So how do we handle those inevitable bumps in the road, those times when stakeholders, well, disagree, sometimes strongly?
That's where having clear, structured processes for conflict resolution comes into play. And you know what's great? Standard contracts like the CCCT2, they actually lay out those procedures. So we're not just hoping for the best here. There are systems in place to navigate those disagreements, keep things moving forward.
Ah, so it's not just about good vibes and handshakes. There's a framework to fall back on. Love that. But speaking of frameworks, the source also mentioned ethical practices. Feels like more than just following the rules, though. Like it's deeper than that.
Spot on. It's about doing the right thing, even when it's hard, even when it maybe costs you something. Think about it. Say a supplier offers you a personal incentive to choose them. Could be tempting, right?
Sure, especially if the budget's tight or deadlines are looming.
Exactly. But if you know deep down that another supplier is a better fit for the project, well, ethical behavior means choosing them, putting the project's needs above your own gain. And in the long run, that builds your reputation, shows everyone you're someone they can trust, someone who's in it for the right reasons. And that's priceless.
Can't argue with that. Integrity is a powerful thing. So let's get tactical here. The source lays out some practical strategies for building these strong relationships, starting with regular stakeholder meetings. But I gotta admit, I've been in some meetings that felt, well, a bit pointless. How do we make sure these are actually valuable, not just ticking a box?
Structure, structure, structure. Knowing what you want to achieve before you even walk in the door. Having a clear agenda, sticking to it. And ensuring that every voice gets heard. Someone's got a concern. Air it out. Discuss it. And document the decisions made, the next steps. Which, hey, leads us right into another key strategy. Clear documentation.
Ah, the paperwork, the change orders, the schedules. Not always the most exciting part of the job, but essential nonetheless, right?
It can feel like a mountain sometimes, all that paperwork. But think of it this way, it's a safety net. A way to minimize misunderstandings down the line. Protects everyone involved, really. And it shows respect, too. Shows you're taking the time to get things right, to keep everyone informed.
So zooming out a bit, looking at the bigger picture here. It's not just about being a nice project manager or having good people skills. It's about having a toolkit. Strategies and skills that directly impact the project's success, minimize risks.
Exactly. Clear communication, structured conflict resolution, ethical behavior, thorough documentation. These aren't just nice extras, they're fundamental. And honestly, they're exactly the kind of skills that the Gold Seal program is all about.
So to sum it all up, we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about the importance of understanding all the different perspectives at play in a construction project. We talked about how clear, transparent communication can build trust and prevent those nasty surprises down the road.
And we dug into some practical strategies too, things like regular stakeholder meetings, comprehensive documentation, and always operating ethically.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. Thinking about the projects you're working on right now, is there one stakeholder relationship that you could strengthen using what we've discussed today? Even a small step, something to shift the dynamic in a positive direction. Because the small steps, they can lead to big wins.
And remember, building and maintaining these relationships, it's an ongoing process. There's always room to grow, always something to learn. So keep pushing yourself, keep building those connections.
We'll be here next time to dive into another fascinating topic. Until then, happy building.